Hey you guys, it's Yana here, and today I'm gonna show you how to play Misery Business by Paramore and Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo, which is basically the same song with just a few differences on your ukulele. So let's get started. So you guys, to play the original versions of the song, you will need a capo. For the Misery Business, you will need a capo on the first fret, and for Olivia Rodrigo song Good For You, capo on the second fret. But here I'm gonna show you how to play it without any capo because not many of us have it. But if you want to learn how to make a capo at home by yourself, I'm gonna leave the link in the description for that video. So for this song, you will need just 4 chords: E minor, D, C, and G. One more time: E minor, D, C, and G. So for the verses, you guys, in the Paramore Misery Business, you will need this chord progression: E minor, D, E minor, C, and you will need to repeat it 4 times with this strumming pattern: down, down, up, down, up. 1 time on each chord. Down, down, up, down, up. One more time, a little bit faster. Of course, the original version of the song, you guys, is played with much faster speed, but you can take your time, play with this speed first and get comfortable with it, and then turn on the original version of the song and play along with it. And for Olivia Rodrigo's song Good For You, in the verses, you will need to play this chord progression: E minor, D, and you will need to repeat it 8 times. So you will replace every C in Misery Business with D, and the same strumming pattern count: down, down, up, down, up. 1 time on each chord. And altogether, verse of Paramore Misery Business and Good For You gonna sound like this. I'm in the business of misery. Let's take it from the top. She's got a body like an hourglass, it's ticking like a clock. It's a matter of time before we all run out. When I thought he was mine, she caught him by the mouth. I waited 8 long months, she finally set him free. I told him I couldn't lie, he was the only one for me. 2 weeks we got caught on fire, scared out for me, but we're the biggest smart. Good for you, I guess you moved on really easily. You found a new girl and it only took a couple weeks. Remember when you said that you wanted to give me the world? And good for you, I guess that you've been working on yourself. I guess the therapist I found for you should really help. Now you can be a better man for your brand new girl. And you guys, don't forget that for original versions of the song, you will need to use a capo. So for Misery Business, you will need a capo on the first fret, and for Good For You, the capo on the second fret. So after each verse in Misery Business, you will need to play this chord progression: E minor and D. On E minor, you will need to play this strumming pattern: down, up, 4 times. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And on D, 4 down strums. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 down. One more time. But in Good For You, we go in from the verses straight to the chorus. So let's talk about the choruses. Now let's divide the choruses for the both songs in 3 parts. For the first part, you will need this chord progression: C, G, D, E minor, D. And you will need to repeat it twice. And here, you guys, you will need to use 2 strumming patterns. So on C, G, and D, you will need to play our strumming pattern: down, down, up, down, up. 1 time on each chord. And then on E minor: down, down, up. 1 time: down, down, up. And on D, down, down, up. So all together it's gonna sound like this. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And you will need to repeat the whole thing twice in both Misery Business and Good For You. For the second part, you will need this chord progression C, D. And you will need to repeat it twice with our strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up. Twice on each chord. So in the third part, in the Misery Business, you will need to play this chord progression E minor, D, E minor, C. And right now you're gonna see the strumming pattern count on the screen. So on E minor, on the first E minor, you will need to play our strumming pattern down, down, up, down, up. Then on D, down, down, up, down, up. Again, down, down, up, down, up. And 4 down strums on last C, down, 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 down. But in a Good For You, in the third part, you will need to play this chord progression E minor, D. And you will need to repeat it twice with our strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up. 1 time on each chord. And both choruses together gonna sound like this.
Whoa, I never meant to brag, but I got what I wanted now. Whoa, it was never my intention to brag, to steal it all the way from you now. God, does it feel so good? 'Cause I got what I wanted now. And if you could, then I know you would. 'Cause God, it just feels so good. Good for you, you look happy and healthy, not me, if you ever cared to ask. Good for you, you're doing great out there without me, baby. God, I wish that I could do that. I've lost my mind, I've spent the night crying on the floor of my bathroom. You're so unaffected, I really don't get it. I guess good for you.
So you guys, after the second chorus in the Misery Business, there's an instrumental and in Good For You too, but they're different. So for Misery Business, you will need this chord progression C, G, D, E minor, D, and you will need to repeat it twice. And right now you're gonna see the strumming pattern count on the screen. So on C, G, and D, you will need to play our strumming pattern down, down, up, down, up 1 time. Then on E minor, down, down, up. So half of the previous strumming pattern, down, down, up. And on D, down, down, up. And it's gonna sound like this. And for the instrumental in Good For You, you will need to play this chord progression E minor, D. And you will need to repeat it twice with our strumming pattern, down, down, up, down, up, 1 time on each chord. So now let's move on to the bridges of those songs. You will need the same chord progression in both songs. So C, G, D, E minor, D. The same strumming pattern count. But in Misery Business, you will need to repeat it twice, and in Good For You, 4 times. And it's gonna sound like this.
I wish these wildest dreams come true, not one of them involving you. Just watch my wildest dreams come true, not one of them involving. Maybe I'm too emotional, too apathy like a wind and soul. Maybe I'm too emotional, maybe you never cared at all. Maybe I'm too emotional, you apathy like a wind and soul. Maybe I'm too emotional, maybe you never cared at all.
And in Misery Business, after the bridge, there's an instrumental where you will need to play the same chord progression 4 times. And finally, we are at the last chorus, you guys, and let's divide it into 3 parts. And I'm gonna start with Misery Business. For the first part, you will need to play this chord progression C, G, D, E minor, D. And you will need to repeat it 3 times. You're gonna see the strumming pattern count on the screen. It's the same as in the bridge and instrumental. For the second part, you will need to play this chord progression C, D, and you will need to repeat it twice with our strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up, twice on each chord. And for the third part, you will need this chord progression: E minor, D, E minor, C, and you will need to repeat it twice. And here, you guys, you will need to play our strumming pattern: down, down, up, down, up, on all of the chords one time except of the last C chord. On last C chord, you will need to play 4 down strums like this.
Oh, never meant to break, but I got what I wanted now. Oh, I never meant to break, but I got what I wanted now. Oh, it was never my intention to cry, to steal you all away from me now. But God, does it feel so good? 'Cause I got what I wanted now. And if you could, then I know you would. 'Cause God, it just feels so. It just feels so good.
Whew! And now, good for you, last chorus. For the first part, you will need the same chord progression: C, G, D, E minor, D. But here, you will need to repeat it twice. Same strumming pattern count. For the second part, C, D. Repeating it twice with our strumming pattern: down, down, up, down, up, twice on each chord. And for the third part, you will need this chord progression: E minor, D. And you will need to repeat it twice with our strumming pattern: down, down, up, down, up, one time on each chord. And also, you guys, after the last chorus and good for you, there's an outro, and you will need to play there our chord progression: E minor, D, twice with just 1 down strum on each chord. And all together, the last chorus and the outro and good for you gonna sound like this.
Good for you, you look happy and healthy, not me, if you ever cared to ask. Good for you, you're doing great out there without me, baby. Look at damn sure that you're bad. I've lost my mind, I've spent the night crying on the floor in my bathroom. You're so unaffected, I really don't get it. I guess good for you. Good for you, I guess you moved on really easily.
So this is it, you guys, and I just want to say that you will find PDF with lyrics and chords and chord charts for this song and many other songs on my Patreon, where you can support me and my channel. Don't forget to check out my other tutorials, you guys, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on my new videos, my new tutorials. And if you want to, you can follow me on my social media at Yana's Pages and listen to my original music on Spotify. Thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful for you. Bye.